What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Coin Junior channel, and today we're gonna be looking through the reasons why I think the Bitcoin pump will not stop now. Now, this is a unexpected turn of events. All right, Bitcoin has nearly reached the $30,000 mark this week. All right. Now, there's a couple of reasons why, and I'm gonna go through it later. Now you can see here, as you guys know, I don't make any predictions because I am not a TA kind of guy. I'm not an analyst. I am not gonna pretend that I am. All right, so I'm not gonna say buy now or sell now or whatever the fuck that you might hear. Okay, but here's my prediction: above 30K will signal a bullish run because that is when people will see, oh my God, Bitcoin is not stopping. It's going to keep on going and people will come and pump the market, and there's a reason why. All right, but if it cools down a bit, all right, if it falls down below the $25,000 mark, it is likely to be bearish. All right, so the likely scenario for me is if Bitcoin pumps slow down, moving prices down below the $25,000 mark, the next realistic bottom is $19,000 right here, or even lower to the $18,000 mark. As you can see, the RSI currently, oh sorry, I don't have the signal up here, but as you can see, a lot of people are pumping in the Bitcoin market because it is a good inflation hedge. All right, now moving on, the reason why Bitcoin is pumping, one of the reasons why: former Coinbase CTO makes $2 million bet on Bitcoin's performance. Balaji has predicted that Bitcoin will reach $1 million within 90 days due to hyperinflation in the United States. 90 days. So if you guys are holding Bitcoin, you're gonna get rich soon based on Balaji's prediction. Whatever. The wager was initiated on March 17th when pseudonymous Twitter user James Matlock offered to bet anyone $1 million that the United States would not experience hyperinflation. A few hours later, the former Coinbase executive accepted that bet. All right, you can see here on his Twitter. Under the proposed terms, if Bitcoin's price fails to reach $1 million by June 17th, Matlock will win $1 million worth of the dollar-pegged stablecoin USDC and 1 BTC. In the same way, if Bitcoin is worth at least $1 million by the date, then Balaji can keep the 1 BTC and the $1 million in USDC. He explained, you buy 1 Bitcoin and I will send $1 million USD. This is 40-to-1 odds as 1 Bitcoin is only worth $26,000 now. The term is 90 days. Per the thread, other Twitter users helped set up a smart contract with the betting terms. Balaji also disclosed that he would move another $1 million in USDC for another wager on the same topic. I am moving $2 million into USDC for the bet. I will do it with Matlock and one other person. Sufficient to prove the point. See my next tweet. Everyone else should just go buy Bitcoin and it'll be much cheaper for you than locking up one for 90 days. He argues that there's an impending crisis that will lead to the deflation of the US dollar, thus to a hyperdeflation scenario that would take the BTC price to $1 million. Matlock, on the other hand, is bearish about the upcoming hyperinflation in the country, and that's why he's confident about taking this bet. Okay, so Balaji is thinks that US dollar is gonna lose its value, and people are gonna realize that, and they're gonna turn to the next best instrument to hedge against inflation, which is Bitcoin. Kind of like gold, but Bitcoin has real use case. Okay, and that is the reason why he is making this bet I don't know, popular and known to other people. I see this as a marketing stint for us to get into Bitcoin, which is smart, to be honest. Now you can see, it's fascinating to watch folks on Twitter assume Balaji's bet on hyperinflation is asinine, harmful to his reputation, or simply has terrible odds. Here's what they're all missing. Given the latest financial crisis coupled with stubbornly high global inflation, not just the US, the Fed and FDIC have already backstopped a number of failing banks and have pumped copious amount of dollars back in the system. So they have been printing money and bailing out banks and providing liquidity into the US market. But the only problem is the headline inflation is still over 6%. So inflation is not going down. All right, even with the pumping of the US dollars into the market, the injection is not working so far. And the Fed hasn't pivoted from their current rate policy in a highly inflationary environment over the past 25 years. When inflation is running 3 times higher than the Fed's target of 2%, injecting hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars of liquidity into the system is certainly not going to help promote price stability, aka help bring inflation back to their target. Yet, the regional banking crisis requires a fix. And why is that? The banks make up the majority of mortgages in America, as well as a huge share of consumer loans and other forms of credit. If these banks can't lend, the economy crashes. Big money center banks like JPM lack the physical footprint in places like rural Oklahoma, so the acquiring will be doable but difficult and slow given how toxic the balance sheets are. So the Fed is in a tight spot. The only option is to print and absorb underwater assets from these banks and in turn inflate the value of risk assets and inflation hedges. Risk assets rise, that's right. And this is, you can see, when regional bank stock prices were crashing, the Nasdaq was up 5.83%. Risk assets tend to rise when liquidity gets injected into the system, but so does the value of inflation hedges, namely gold. Now, Bitcoin has been widely accepted to be a digital form of gold, a hedge against hyperinflation. Nearly anyone with an internet connection can purchase it worldwide. Well, what does all this have to do with Balaji's signal bet? Now, this is why people are pumping Bitcoin. He's raising awareness to what is likely coming, an era of hyperinflation, and hyperinflation happens fast. Just like that, your money will be gone. And now, what is a good choice, a good instrument to hedge against inflation? Bitcoin, obviously. Now, this statement, this story right here, it's a prediction by financial experts. Powell likely to raise rates by 25 basis points against crypto markets hope for status quo. And this is another reason why Bitcoin is going strong, okay? Because there is a prediction that the Federal Reserve are going to raise the point at minimum, okay? They're going to raise the basis point at minimum. The Fed needs to pause at a minimum or the banking issues escalate. The director of institutional sales at Crypto Liquidity Network Paradigm tweeted earlier this Tuesday, suggesting that the world's most powerful central bank should prioritize banking sector stability over inflation. Bitcoin has rallied over 40%, partly due to hopes that the bank failure will force the Fed to abandon its rate hike cycle that rocked risk assets earlier. The central bank has raised rate by 450 basis points since March 2022. A 25 basis points rate hike will lift the benchmark borrowing cost to the 4.75% range and may see traders positioned for a pause trim their bullish exposure to Bitcoin. On Sunday, Jerome Powell and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said that the U.S. financial system remains resilient and the capital and liquidity positions of the banking system are strong. Fake news, fuck that shit. The liquidity addicted risk assets might read the pause as a sign of an imminent early pivot toward rate cut and price in the same. That in turn will make it difficult for the Fed to resume rate hikes without shocking the markets. So they have to be dovish. If not, people are going to lose their jobs, their money, and everything. And they're going to turn to Bitcoin and hedge against the hyperinflation that is going to come. That is predicted by a lot of people, a lot of financial experts. And that is the reason why Bitcoin has been going up. And as you can see here, the Fear and Greed Index reaches a 16-month high of 68. A lot of people are going into Bitcoin just so they're not losing their money by their banks and by the government. Okay, now this is a good sign. This is a good awareness. This is a good awareness to the public that don't keep your money in the bank. All right, don't trust the government, don't trust the CPI numbers, don't trust the official inflation numbers by the government because they don't measure accurately. They just take basket of instruments that they like and they just post it out to the public, and you're supposed to just take it just like that. Ain't no way. All right, and that's the reason why Bitcoin has been pumping. Now, another news, now this is a great news. Immutable and Polygon are joining forces in an industry-defining partnership to accelerate the development and adoption of Web3 gaming. The future of gaming begins today with the announcement of the Immutable ZK EVM powered by Polygon. Now, last year, Immutable and Polygon had nearly $2 billion invested in Web3 games together. This partnership introduces Immutable ZK EVM. Now, these are the key points: unlimited creativity and potential, simple turnkey solutions, greater flexibility and EVM compatibility, unrivaled gaming and Web3 experiences. All right, so what does this mean? The leading Web3 game development platform and Polygon, the leading protocol for Web3 gaming, have formed a strategic partnership to remove complexity and risk while accelerating their path from concept to success on Ethereum. Now, this is amazing news. All right, so anyone that has been gaming on Web3 platforms will be delighted to hear this news. More adoption is coming, more narratives are being built on Polygon and Immutable. Gaming is a huge part of our lives. By bringing this to the public, we can expect more people to adopt blockchain faster. Okay, now I'm gonna end this video right here. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment. I'm sorry if I'm stumbling across my words. I'm tired. I just came home from work. Forgive me. Please like, please subscribe, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace.